access level has recently increased. Excellent. Incoming message.
Welcome, agents, to episode 90 of Behind the Scanner. Our special guests tonight are Mori from Manila, Philippines, and Jenifer from Orlando, Florida. Welcome to the show. Have a question for our guests? Join us during the broadcast in our live chat room on our website, behindthescanner.com, or you can submit questions through the YouTube Q&A tool. If you know someone who would make a great guest, submit their information to us at behindthescanner.com and click on Guest Suggestions. Subscribe to our channel and watch previous recordings on YouTube. For all the latest updates and news, follow us on Google+. And now, your hosts of Behind the Scanner.
Yay! Good evening, agents, and welcome to another edition of Behind the Scanner. I'm Daphne from Washington, D.C., and my co-host tonight is Jorge Pedrero from Mexico City. Hola,
Hello,
Jorge.
guys. Hello, Daphne.
And we're glad to have for tonight's Weekly Truth. Welcoming back Typhoon Jim. Now, if anyone, maybe those of you in the chat room, should be a little bit of trivia, can remember Typhoon Jim. It's not his first time on Behind the Scanner, and if you can guess when that was, maybe we can get one of our wonderful chat hosts in there to DM you a code. We've got Jesse Spangenberger, Ramon LaBestia, and of course Andrew Krug. And Andrew will also be giving the big codes of the show. And so, yes, glad to have you all here tonight. All right, ladies. Maury, I'm going to start with you. On your G+, you go by, gosh, forgive me if I butcher this, Mori Batrachotoxin. Now, I'm Filipina too, but that is not a last name that I've ever come across. Where does that come from? What does that mean?
Hi, Daphne. My surname is actually Hernandez.
Okay.
I just used that for, privacy, but well, now it's out. Anyway, batrachotoxin, that's how it's pronounced, at least when I Googled it. It's actually a toxin that comes from poison dart frogs. That's what they secrete, and that's what the natives use in the poison darts. And I used it because, enlightened agents are called frogs. So I guess it was a nice, recurrence.
Yeah, no, that's extremely clever. How about you, Jenifer? How about your agent name?
It's kind of funny. My agent name is actually my DJ name. I've been an EDM DJ for about 10 years.
Whoa, okay, that's really freaking cool. And you still DJ quite a bit?
I'm actually a full-time student in school again, so I've kind of put DJing on the back burner, and of course, I'm focusing a lot of time on Ingress, so it's kind of something I do every once in a while now.
Oh man, I could just see like the after party getting pretty even cooler. But yes, but yeah, that's really fun. We don't get too many. Well, EDM's always been like one of my favorite stations, so very fun.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It was a suggestion about me DJing the after party, and I said, I probably wouldn't have much fun if I was behind some tables. So.
All right. Well, maybe I'll try to see if somehow I can convince you later.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Jenifer, were you much of a gamer before Ingress?
I'm sorry?
Were you much of a gamer before Ingress?
Yes. I played quite a few games on Xbox. I have several games that are on my tablet. I had a gaming system probably about the time that I was 7, So it's been about
Wow.
20-something years that I've been playing games. So
Wow. What other games do you play?
right now, one that I'm actually trying to finish with another English friend of mine is Portal 2.
Okay.
But I usually like pretty much any type of game. For the most part, I'm not biased on games, so I'll try everything once.
Okay. Great. And Mori, what about you?
I actually started gaming just like Jennifer at a very young age. My dad was very much of a gamer. It was family computer back then. But now, aside from Ingress, a lot of mobile games that I play with, also with other Ingress agents. We actually have a Clash of Clans clan. Hi guys. Um,
No.
with Enlightened agents. And I also have a Steam account, so I randomly play Steam games. I just finished Bioshock Infinite. I haven't committed to any other game yet, and I hope over this weekend I can start another one.
All right, so you're definitely into a lot of games now. How did you guys find out about Ingress specifically? Maury?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
How did you first find out about Ingress?
Oh, I found out on 9gag. There was a meme that says that Ingress was a good guy game because it made nerds go out of the house. So I thought it can be a good fitness game to lose weight, but that's not correct. Actually gained weight. Actually gained weight after Ingress because we would always farm at restaurants. And in the Philippines, a lot of clusters are in restaurants, so you just sit, you farm, and then you eat. So you
Yeah.
actually gain weight. That's a false connotation. I'm sorry, Ingress. Um,
It sounds absolutely fantastic, though.
but the food here is great. I started out Resistance actually for about 2 weeks, and then I didn't like the culture in Resistance, so I switched to Enlightened, and I've been Enlightened since.
Bad choice.
And how about you, Jennifer?
Believe it or not, I actually had an invite to Ingress, but I had an iPhone. So
Oh,
I had
no.
I had to wait roughly I think it was like 4 to about 6 months before I could even play. But the day that I could upgrade my phone, I went and upgraded my phone to an Android, and Ingress was the first thing I installed.
Good job with that.
Yeah, okay. Well, a little pause for everyone watching us. You can interact with the guest or the host or whoever you want from behind the scanner in our live chat room at our website behind the scanner. Just go there and click on the chat at the top, and that's it. Easy. You can receive some codes there too if you ask the right questions. So, Maury, one thing about Ingress is that it tends to take players off their sofa and out into the world. So, did that kind of happen to you more literally?
Oh, the first time I went out of the country was because of Persepolis, Indonesia. They were very kind to us there. But we would plan our vacations around Ingress portals. Even before the Sojourner badge came out, if you would go on vacation, especially during this time of the year, it's summer in the Philippines, we would always check the portal density in the places where we would go so that we could maximize our explorer.
Cool. So, you travel a lot?
Yes, I do. I make it a point to travel a lot. I'm actually going to the Hong Kong Anomaly this next weekend. So we're there for about 6 days, and there are lots of us. I'm also coming with the Legion. Hi, Legionnaires. They didn't ask me to mention them, but we will be there in the Hong Kong Anomaly. So I hope that we can finish all the missions on mission day.
Wow, that's amazing. Missions in Hong Kong, I guess there are a lot. And what about you, Jennifer? I would love to have you in the Mexico City anomaly, but well, sadly for me, but happily for you, you have an anomaly in Orlando. Do you have also travel for other Ingress anomalies to other places or other countries, maybe?
I've been fortunate enough that there has been several anomalies in the state of Florida. So every single one that we've had since Recursion I've participated in, and I was also helping in Shonen last year. And then, of course, this year I'm a POC for Obsidian. It's been quite an experience. Since I got to help out with Shonen last year, it's been a lot easier planning this one. But, we've got every English player supports any of them. So I couldn't have asked for a better support system for, those of them, people wanting to help out and do whatever they can to make sure the anomaly goes smooth, faction aside. So, but it's been an amazing experience to actually hold a primary for the first time here in Orlando.
Good. I'm excited. I will, very excited to be there, I guess, for a couple of weeks. And other than anomalies, what sort of events or activities do you generally enjoy participating in most, Jennifer?
I'm very active in First Saturdays here. We did have the Niantic van for our second First Saturday here sometime last year. But we are really, really strong in making sure that we have a First Saturday at least, every month or every other month. So I participate in that as well. I know there's, depending on the area, not all cross-faction works, but we're trying to make it bigger here in Central Florida.
I bet. And for you, Mori, I'm going to venture a guess that First Saturdays might be your favorite too. Am I right? Oh,
Oh, yeah. Not exactly my favorite, but I have a weird first Saturday achievement here in the Philippines. For some reason, I always get the highest AP because we have, aside from getting the most levels gained, which is being tracked internationally, locally we award the person that gains the highest AP during first Saturday. So for some reason, for all the first Saturdays that I've attended, I've gotten that award. But that's not really my favorite event. We call it meet and greet. Before the first Saturdays came around, we have meet and greets in different cities in the Philippines where we would gather new agents and then sort of farm and then teach them the basics. We would focus that on newer agents. But when the first Saturday events came out, that wasn't really that much needed anymore. So we, at least most of the Enlightened agents, would just make it a point to attend the first Saturdays.
Very cool.
Well, now it's time for a little pause on our interview, and well, we have a special guy here, a famous guy, to catch us up with the latest news on the storyline. Well, everything that happens on the Ingress world. Here is Typhoon Jim for the Operation Essex expert to give us the weekly truth. Hi, Jim.
And time to unmute yourself too. Another shot.
Shots.
Okay, I'll do it again. With us, Typhoon Jim for the weekly truth.
Are you there? Oh no! Don't tell me the sound.
Let's solve this and let's go with Andrew Krug to the cut of the show. I think he has audio. Are you there, Andrew?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. So
let's do this then, I guess. So without further ado, here you go. These are the limited redeemable but very shareable. Go to the show. We need God, we need Jennifer to like throw up some EDM music while we're waiting. There you go.
That would be epic.
That would be awesome. Yeah. So let's leave those up there for a little bit. We'll see if Typhoon can't get his sound going. I can beatbox too if you want. No, I won't do that either.
Oh no, please no.
You have to wipe the spray off the screen now.
My God.
Well,
Yeah.
did anyone in the chat room happen to guess when Typhoon Jim was on previously?
It's a low number, single digits. You can count on like literally one hand. You can use
Are they guessing or they are really know?
I don't know.
Oh my God.
It's been that long ago.
Yeah.
It
Like
was.
a year or so.
It was episode 1. Episode 1.
Episode 1, really?
2.
Yeah, he gave a really great digestible view of the storyline that I actually was able to help understand. And as I've been perfected in another YouTube video that's very popular that he and Andrew had worked on, the storyline in, 60 seconds? Or how long was that video you guys did?
Yeah, I think it was 10 minutes. We couldn't compress it down.
Sorry, okay, not 60 seconds.
Well,
right. Well,
do you know what I hate about your code of the show, Andrew? That the first code, I can see it completely because the live thing on the screen. You know.
Fancy.
Because on our screen you have something blocking it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, as the host, you can't redeem our.
Why?
Present to win.
Yes.
Because we have a special. We have a special code for the guests, the hosts. No. Okay. So.
All right, Jim. Let's give it one more try, Jim.
No. Are you maybe you're not muted in the Hangouts, or are you muted in the hardware somewhere, or you adjust your levels?
I mean, I'm adjusted everything.
Oh,
Is anything?
yes, we hear you.
Oh, good. Okay, great.
So,
anyway,
so,
excellent.
3, 2, 1. Typhoon Jim with us tonight on the Weekly Truth.
Hi there. How you doing?
Much better now. Welcome.
Excellent.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
So what's going on in the storyline?
So the last couple of months, we've seen a lot of gaps in our knowledge of the legend of Obsidious revealed to us. There's been a series of media drops from portals all around the world, and they've revealed a story of the Obsidian Shield and the Vesuvian Magnus. Now, depending on how familiar you are with the history of Obsidious, he was sent to meet someone who he thought was a person, maybe a place, called the Magnus. Now, nowadays we certainly have a certain connotation to that name, but he was sent along with an assassin named Syphax, and he met an oracle named Cybella in North Africa. Now, that oracle, in the most recent media, gave a sort of prediction about what is going to happen. Now, her predictions have previously revealed anomaly sites, but this prediction talked about, in her words, 2 distant voices guiding her. One from across the Limina, which means thresholds, and another from the great beyond. Now, they were arguing, and their voices became a cacophony, then a flame. The flame consumed her, and then all of us, and then the entire cities around us. Nothing is left in the end but ash and the echoes of their screaming voices. Now, Obsidious said he fears for her and fears for all of us. Now, this may be a sign of what is to come if the shield is utilized. And I think that's what Hank Johnson is afraid of.
So I got a question for you, actually.
Sure.
If I can ask a follow-up one. So,
absolutely.
What is your opinion of Jahan and the Acolyte? Like the dichotomy between the two, their similarities, differences?
Mm-hmm. So I think in a lot of ways they're almost, it's a strange thing to say given their history, but I think in a way they're almost sisters. That if they were together on the same cause, they would be excellent partners. They seem to share the same very active outlook as to what the faction should do. This is to be contrasted with, say, Deborah Bogdanovich, who was more interested in a cautious approach, and Hank Johnson, who has previously in the past warned of the dangers of XM. actually very famously during the one of the Operation Cassandra broadcasts. And this is a major shift in tone for what the factions are doing. I think it reflects both danger and opportunity.
I heard you use the other night like an analogy, like the primary thing.
Yes, exactly. So if you're familiar with political primaries, there's one thing that people will do in the political primary when they're amongst their own, which is people will try to raise their hands and say, I'm different than the other fellow. But then, once the primary is settled and once the decisions are made, then you move towards the center. Everyone hopefully supports each other, or maybe not. And that's the sort of thing where you will see people who have very similar outlooks diverge strongly when there's an opportunity for individual ambition. But once the opportunity passes, and it seems there is you might say, a right side of history, maybe the opportunity is an actual thing as opposed to a possible thing, then what happens is then maybe the sides come together. Maybe the agreements become more obvious.
So you think there will be something between them, like an agreement?
There may very well be. I think it's important to remember the nature of the obsidian shield. There's two parts to it, I think. In Roman mythology, there is a thing called the ancile, which is supposedly one of the guarantees of Roman sovereignty. It was a shield that was given by the god Mars to the king Numa Pompilius, and that shield there were 12 duplicates that were used in parades to keep it from being stolen. Now, the oracle, Cybele, has said that those 12 actually are all individual pieces that don't make up the whole until combined. Thus, the total is actually 13. Now, that number means a lot to us. But the thing about the ancile is that it's something that guarantees Roman sovereignty and power. Now, to contrast this with another historical shield in Hellenic myth, which is the Aegis. This shield is wielded by Athena and Zeus, and it's both a protector and weapon of terror, and that its main strength is that it causes enemies to flee and lose their resolve. And I feel that this is a major part of what Jahan and the Acolyte are trying to wield. This whole idea of protection and offense on the other hand.
That's very interesting. Well, let's see what the future it's showing us.
Absolutely.
Soon, really soon. We have anomalies in a week. Well, a little bit more. And okay, let's see. Thank you, Jim. Anything else you want to add?
I think one thing I'd like to note is I feel that the factions are like unbalanced wheels, where if they were all in balance, there would be no movement, there would be stasis. And what happens to move that balance is ambition. And that's what the figure of Jahan and the Acolyte are. Now, the question is that where will the movement happen? And what will those rotations bring? And what will that engine create? And that I think we will have the answer to at the end of Obsidian.
Okay, let's see. All this sounds like very, very deep in the story, but well, let's see. So let's get into our guest again. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Well, let's go a little bit out of the scanner and let's talk about the real world. Jenifer, first you're currently at college. What are you studying?
Right now I'm focusing on my minor, which is in IT, but I'm majoring in biomedical right now. For what my life is fit for right now, it seems that IT is easily to attain right now because I actually have a little one. So once she gets older, I'll finish and focus on my biomedical. But my place is in the lab behind a microscope. I love everything microscopic.
Wow, that's amazing, and it's a lot of interesting things there on the side of the science on the microbiology. There are a lot of things discovered every day, and well, I think it's amazing. Those little things rule a lot on our real life all the time. Did you? So, Jenifer, how old is your little one?
I have an 8-year-old, just one.
Okay.
She's pretty much the firecracker in me, because as we get older, she keeps me alive, keeps me occupied most of the time, and keeps me on my toes. Of course, if I'm not playing Ingress, she has an Ingress account as well. She never did get to 8. It's kind of hard to, tether and everything, but she loves Ingress. She always goes, "Mommy, can we go blow up all the green portals?" And so it's definitely something I can connect with her, on a level, of course, being supervised, but it's definitely something I've, instilled into her, and she absolutely loves Ingress as well.
Cool. That's really cool. Well, how about you, Mori? And you are also involved in science, right?
Yeah, technically, yes. My major in college was chemical engineering, but I'm not
Wow.
actually practicing. Right now, I'm mostly corporate planning. That's technically my profession now. But I did start with a science course, and I'm still very much interested in science.
Okay.
So corporate planning, what's that?
Oh God, this is so hard to explain. It's basically strategic planning, but for businesses. That's why Ingress anomaly planning is kind of a passion of mine. Corporate planning is just you sort of plan for the next year, the revenues, the expenses, all that boring stuff. Somebody has to do it. So I do it with my team.
Got it. Yeah, I can. Yes, and I see how that can relate with some of your gameplay as well. Now, aside from the work thing, you've got an interesting family dynamic in relation to Ingress, right?
Yeah. We are three. I have two other siblings. We're all girls. My elder sisters. I'm the youngest. My elder sisters both play Ingress. My eldest sister just gave birth, but doesn't matter. She still plays. My other sister is actually in Kuwait right now, and she's playing there. Hi, Car and Myla. I hope they're watching.
So, when were your holidays like? Did you and your sisters sneak off, after dinner to go get your sojourner, or?
Well, the thing is, I always get first dibs on portals because both my sisters have children. So I can, like go out. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna walk the baby. And I'm just gonna walk the baby around to where the portals are. And they get to stay at home and watch the other kids. So I always get first dibs on Pioneer and Explorer.
Okay, good strategy. Um, and how about you, Jennifer? Now, I mean, while Ingress is sometimes thought of as more ideal activity at night, you did mention about your DJing. Is there, I don't know, do you have other activities that you do with your daughter as well?
My daughter's actually starting to draw a lot more, so she's actually on spring break right now, so she's not here, but I actually 2 days ago bought her this huge art pad because I'm noticing that she's wanting to sketch, and I can't draw anything but a stick figure, so she draws much better than I do, but she's really getting into art. So, we do make a lot of crafts and everything, those little things you melt into beads. We've even made Ingress pieces like that. We have somebody in our community that makes the same thing. So we just do a lot of arts and crafts stuff. She's very girly, so I was more of a climb up the tree type of kid, and she's more of a dresses and makeup and purses. So it's definitely a different take on things.
Learning experience for everyone.
Okay, and we are almost on the Q&A section with our guests. So if you are watching us via YouTube, you have to click at the banner at the bottom of the video that says be part of the conversation, and from there you just have to click at the square grid menu icon in the upper right and select Q&A and shut whatever you are thinking of. So Maury, what have you been some interesting length you've gone to the sake of fingers?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, but
I'm
have
sorry.
you? Yeah, I think it's well. What have you been some interesting length you've gone for the sake of fingers?
Lengths that I've gone through for the sake of fingers. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of people, well, of course, taking a leave off of work. Sometimes, especially during the time when there was some shards for Abaddon or Persepolis. I think it was Persepolis. Taiwan was the target for the Persepolis shards at that time, and for some reason, a lot of shards were passing through the Philippines, and one actually manifested in Manila. That was very, very, I would say, difficult, but also fun for all the agents here because a lot of agents were in Manila. We would go to the portal is about 2 hours from where I live, where the shard is. So early in the morning, since the shard would jump at 8 a.m., we would go there 2 hours away from where I live and where I work, and then watch the shard jump, and then race back to Makati where I live. That's 2 hours away, so that we could get to work. There were actually several of us right there. Of course, there's the usual borderline trespassing, short weekends out of town just to go get a portal or to destroy a portal. But I guess the best one was, almost missing work and not actually missing it, just to chase a shard.
So and that is awesome. But I have a specific question for you. What the heck is rooster farming?
Sorry?
What is rooster farming?
Oh, rooster farming. Well, you know how roosters they what's that sound? They make a sound in the morning to wake people up. I don't know, that's how it is in the Philippines. So they crow in the morning. So
Mm-hmm.
rooster farming is when you farm from the night before. It's usually we do it on Friday. So right after work we would gather around a place and then farm, and then the farming would become so intense that we end up farming until sunrise the next day. We
Oh,
would not stay in one place. We would usually, after the burnout, or maybe we could burn out a portal twice when back when there were no heat sinks, you can actually burn out a portal twice because you can wait the 4 hours. And then we would go to nearby provinces, nearby areas in Metro Manila or surrounding province just to farm or maybe explore a portal. But of course, it's not just the farming, it's more of the
yeah.
socialization, which I really, really love about Ingress.
Yeah, I understand. We don't we don't call it rooster farming, but we do the same here and I think everywhere. So, Jennifer, what about you? Any interesting stories from your English adventures?
Yes, I kind of have a similar one. I actually sat for maybe 9 hours trying to keep a shard here on my day off. I was supposed to be doing other things, and if I remember correctly, I can't remember if it was recursion or Enteritus, but we pretty much had a shard that was set in the middle of Enlightened country, so nobody was around, and they're like, Jen, you're off today. Can you go out there? So I sat at a portal in Lakeland, which is about an hour and a half away, for about 8 hours with two other resistance agents, and we were completely outnumbered. But between me and those two agents, before we got any kind of help, I managed to keep that shard from going anywhere. But it was quite interesting because, I usually won't go on my day off to go chasing shards, but it was definitely an interesting thing. And then I met, several Enlightened players. I'm, like I said, I'm pretty cross faction. I have several Enlightened friends. But it was good to get out into a different area, get some uniques, and meet some new people.
Well, okay, well, both of you have had some cool experience as far as shards go. Any tips that you'd be willing to share on how to handle them when they end up in your possession? Do you have a flexible job, I guess? Lori, Jennifer, anything?
Um, Well, bring lots of water if you're playing in the
Okay.
Philippines, because you never know when you'll run out of potable water or when a shard will go to somewhere weird or somewhere very, very isolated. So yeah, water and food and cash, because you never know when your card's not gonna work.
Yeah, no, definitely. That is an Ingress, this Ingress survival kit and comfy shoes. I guess you can definitely add to that. All right, and now Jennifer, what would you consider one of your proudest Ingress accomplishments?
I'm actually very active and somebody that my current community looks up to. As far as recruiting, training, getting people engaged. Of course, we have several others on our team. I don't work alone. It's a handful of us that do everything that we possibly can, because here in Central Florida we're very community based. We have several events, get-togethers. We always have it at a restaurant. We'll go eat and then we'll plan something afterward. But I hear that, that happens everywhere, but we make sure that we make it a point that we get all of our players in the community engaged and keep us together. So that's one of the things that I like about, our area here is that we're very social with each other. I've made a handful of people, that I would consider friends now more than acquaintances just from the game.
Oh, that I think that's universally what people tend to consider the best part of the game is it's not just it's not just playing the game, it's the connections that you
it's the connections that you make with people, and then sometimes we go out and do things without Ingress. So I think that's my favorite part of Ingress altogether.
Yeah, oh yeah, good reminder. And how about you, Maury?
Actually, it's the same with Jennifer. I really like the social aspect of the game. Sometimes we won't even open our scanners when we're together because we actually always make it a point to meet up after work almost every day. We even have a tagline, there's always a farm in Makati. Actually, there's always a gathering in Makati, but it doesn't really have to be a farm. Sometimes we would play card games and just one person would just shout to upgrade the portal because nobody else is opening their scanner. But the social portion is really what I would agree with Jennifer that the social part of the game is really what makes me want to play it continuously.
Yeah, no, good point as well. Now, how about stats? Are you working on anything in particular, Maury?
Um, I just got Onyx. Oh, I guess somebody mentioned that. I just got Onyx Builder this week. I think yesterday or the day before that. So I'm
Jeez.
building my liberate. I'm trying to get into the platinum. I don't know. There's supposed to be a all platinum group so that all of your badges are in platinum. So that's what I'm pushing for. The missions are particularly hard. Yesterday I went on a mission with Agent Rebelander. Hi, and we finished 18, 24, 21. I don't know, but that was a lot of missions because it was a mission art. So that's what I'm trying to build right now.
All right. Well, good luck with that. How about you, Jennifer? What kind of stats are you shooting for now?
Well, I have all my badges for 16. However, since planning the anomaly, I'm still a 14. I need about 2 million AP to get to 15. But since, helping with Shonen last year, I took 4 months off. I just needed a break. I came back, and now I'm planning this one, so I'm kind of slowed in that process. But right now, I'm actually also working on missions as well. We have several banner missions, that we've submitted, of course, for the anomaly here in Orlando. But basically, I've just been working on just the banner missions because, I can get the badge with doing as many missions as possible, and then I have a pretty banner to show in my scanner.
Oh yeah. So will you? I take it you'll be doing mission day as well.
Most definitely. I'll probably be the one out there as soon as they go live.
All right. So you ladies ready for some viewer questions?
I'm ready.
All
Let's go.
right. first person, Anarch3, kind of wants to get your thoughts on the GoRuck and its part in anomalies. So, Maury, I'm going to start with you. Any thought? In fact, is GoRuck a big deal over there?
A lot of us getting the news that GoRuck will be in the Hong Kong anomaly, because when we got the news, we really wanted to join, but it was a bit expensive. Sorry, Niantic, but it is. If I would like to spend that much, I would probably train. My insight on the GoRuck, the whole GoRuck event thing is that it is actually a good, for me, it's a good variation on how you play the game. It gives, you know, more physically fit people to a chance to, you know, showcase their talents. But it's a bit limiting. It can be a bit limiting for those of us that are not as fit. So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm not really decided on that, but I don't think they should remove it, or I think they should continue it. It's a nice idea.
All right, cool. And you, Jenifer?
I'm definitely a supporter of GoRuck. I would be rucking if I was allowed, but with POCs I have too much to do. I do like the option that they do have, you know, kind of the harder GoRuck at night. You know, at least for here in Orlando, they have the stealth op at night that's a little bit rougher. But during the day, they have the lighter version for those of us like me and Maury who probably can't keep up with the endurance, you know, of the rest of everybody on GoRuck. But I think it's a really good idea. I know, like Maury said earlier, you can do as much walking to get your Trekker badge, but you don't really lose a whole lot of weight that way, or, you know, there's not a real lot of exercise involved in that. So I think GoRuck is a really good thing for Ingress.
You know, and I'm with you guys, and I admire everyone who participates in it. I mean, you go with your bad selves, for sure. All right, Anarch3 is asking Maury, how does law enforcement in your country react to Ingress players? Have you ever had to explain yourself to a confused officer?
There's an interesting story behind it. They are not that aware that the game is being played locally, but there's a place in Manila. It's called Intramuros. You might be familiar with it. Before, way back 2 years ago, 3 years ago, that was the only place that had a lot of portal clusters. So that's where we would always play. It's about 45 minutes from where I live. So we'd always play there on weekends, and the guards there would know that we're playing. They would actually, you know, call our attention if we're going to be hit by a car. They would be interested. We would explain to them that it's a game, and they would let us into certain places that are supposed to be closed at that time. So they were really nice about it. As long as you explain it properly, and as long as you know, make them understand that you're not trying to blow up anything by, you know, using bursters.
Right, not literally, at least, just the portals. Got it.
Yeah.
And Typhoon Jim would like to know from Jenifer, and actually, yeah, I'd like to know this too. Who's your favorite EDM artist?
Right now, I would have to say Seven Lions is probably my favorite. I have been following him since he was first announced, but I have yet to see him in concert. I have missed so many events and so many opportunities. He's come through Orlando. We have a couple of events here, like Ultra that just happened last weekend, and then also Electric Daisy Carnival. So I'm hoping to catch him this November when he comes, or if I can make it out to Vegas.
Okay. And Digital Beast, of course, he's going to ask this. He's our been a guest host in the chat room right now. He'd like to know from Jen, what pulls you into the microscopic as a field? What is it that fascinates you in particular about that?
I find it very fascinating that something unicellular, meaning one cell, and so small that, you know, the naked eye can't see, could be so detrimental to our health. That's what fascinates me the most about it. You know, where I want to go with my particular, you know, interests and degree is to hopefully someday work for the CDC. I'm really interested in, trying to find out the things that make us sick and, possibly be one of those people that help us find a cure for whatever diseases are unknown out there.
Right. And, and what would you say your thoughts are on small town play versus big city play?
I would say it's pretty even. We do have several people that come out from the smaller towns that come out. We've seen an influx of people from all over. Enlightened, both res coming from small towns we've never heard of to come to downtown because they know there's an anomaly. So, but most of my experience is in the bigger city. But I've traveled a couple places throughout the state and noticed that the smaller cities play just as hard as us in the bigger cities.
Yeah, true that. And do you happen to play Pandemic?
No. With school and everything and my daughter, I usually don't have too much time to play too many games. My Xbox right now is collecting dust, so the only game that I'm playing right now is Ingress because it requires me to be out and everything. So. But eventually I'm going to start getting back into that stuff. So I do know of the game, I just haven't been able to play.
Right on. And while they're running, would like to know, since you both love the social aspect of the game, would you say that it's been generally a positive experience? And I'm going to start with you, Mori.
Yes, generally about 80% it's a positive, the social aspect of the game is a positive experience. Of course, you will always get a few, flame baits, a few people who would be not nice. That's the best term I could think of without being, rated R. Yesterday we just had a few multi-second accounts that were trying to disrupt the game, I guess. But generally, if you just focus on the positive things, the friends you've made, Ingress is the social aspect of Ingress is really the best part of it.
True. And you, Jenifer?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Maury on this one. It's maybe 80 to 85% positive. You do get some of those players that you try to get engaged with, or that lash back at you in calm for blowing something up, or hey, that was mine, and you just kind of have to step away from it, and not let it get underneath your skin, and not let it keep you from having fun playing this game. Because there's a larger social group somewhere else that's going to accept you in the game.
Yeah, and speaking of social groups, how do you deal with local and global issues that might come up? Do you have any tips for any agents that are watching?
One of the best things I can give some advice on is, even if somebody's bantering you in calm, don't let it get underneath your skin. You got to remember there's still a person behind that scanner, and everything that you say in calm may be hurtful, and you may not know what their situation is on the other end. So my take on that is, be kind to whoever you speak to, because you never know who that person is and what struggles they may have behind the scanner.
Words of wisdom. And how about you, Maury?
Just try to calm down first before you reply. My friends would know that I am a very, my temper is not that good. But in all the years of playing Ingress, we would always say that Ingress is like a real life situation wherein you can encounter so many types of people. Some people are kind, some people are mean, and then you just learn to go along with it. What I would recommend to people who encounter players that are mean in the scanners, similar to Jenifer, is that understand that they must be coming from somewhere. Maybe they were in a bad mood that day. Maybe they don't understand that the context of the game is to destroy and recapture portals. So I guess both factions should, I think, address people who don't understand that the game should be is a continuous capture and destroy game. So you really shouldn't take that personally, and the game, you shouldn't really take any aspect of the game personally, I guess. And I hope, that goes for all of us, even the newer or even the older players.
Right. Okay. Kind of a little less on the serious side, or maybe more so on the serious side. Chris Kirkman would like to know, what has been the most number of hours of continuous play in a row that you have done?
I know. I think that's for me, isn't it?
It wasn't
Is-
addressed to anyone specifically, but I think it's a good question for both of you, actually.
Oh, sorry, Jennifer. But I know Chris Kirkman. Hi,
Oh,
Bugs. That's his real name. Um, Continuously, it's less than 24 hours because I have to sleep. Back then, we would play, especially on weekends. You would start playing on Friday night, go to sleep, maybe have a little drink before you go to sleep, and then wake up and go straight to playing, and then go to sleep again, and then play, and then go to sleep, and then play before you go to work on Monday. So I guess that's the longest streak I've had.
okay, and how about you, Jennifer?
There was one particular night that I was, helping a person that's usually out overnight put up some layered fields near my home. So we started at about 6 p.m., and I think I probably didn't crawl into bed till maybe 10 o'clock the following morning. So I would say, at least an overnight of maybe 14 hours straight play.
And how many batteries did you use?
We were in a car, but I had my anchor with me, and that thing was completely dead.
That says a lot. When you're yes, you played a lot of Ingress. All right, and well, I guess that concludes our questions, and it's that time or Jorge, you want to do the last part?
If you want, it's time for our BDS tradition, and for better or worse, we give you 60 seconds to talk about everything you want. So think about it for 3, 2, 1, and let's start with Mori.
Oh, no, I'm not prepared. Hi to everyone in the Philippines. I'm glad to be here. I hope you're all watching. Hi to the Makati Manoks. I'm not gonna do the chicken dance, but hi to all of you. Hi to all the English players in the Philippines. And for anyone who would be going to Manila in the Philippines, just tag me and I will find somebody to help you go around Manila. That's it.
Great, and well, let's go with Jennifer.
I just want to say hi to everybody in the Central Florida Resistance. I definitely want to thank everybody that's helped me and my other POC, William Ramza, for planning this anomaly here in Orlando. We have a really good team. I also want to say hi to my best friend who happens to be Enlightened. Hi, Miss Hulk Smash. And I think that's about it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, ladies. It was such a pleasure having you on tonight. And it looks, best of luck to you, Mori, in Hong Kong. And Jennifer, I look forward to meeting you in Orlando. And Jorge, I wish I could be there in Mexico City with you. But yeah, best of luck with you and your anomaly.
Thank you very much. I wish you were here.
I believe me, I wish I could have been too. And for the audience here, yeah, it looks like it's going to be Anomaly Fever. So we will actually be taking another break next week so that everyone can prep for anomalies and travel and hack and plan and organize and everything else. So yeah, we will see you in a couple of weeks.
Great. See you guys. Thank you for watching us and happy hacking. Okay. there's the credits.
You know, in some of the most exciting cities in this particular round, yeah, I don't know if I could necessarily choose other than geographic convenience.
Oh,
Where would you want to go
whatever.
if it wasn't Mexico City, Jorge?
Sorry, what?
Where would you want to go other than Mexico City?
Oh, Hong Kong.